video. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification bell and ring a ding 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 every time that I upload a video. You will get that little notification and you can come watch me. Okay guys, so in this video we are going to find out what the ultimate dupe for the MAC 217 brush is. The long coveted 217 brush that they in 2016 I believe switched over to synthetic. So right now, stop the video, don't go anywhere. Put in the comments right now what you feel like is the ultimate MAC 217 brush dupe. I'll wait here. Alright guys, so let's get into this without any further ado. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification, and if you like the content that I put out, make sure you hit that like button. Alright guys, let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's get started. This is the highly coveted MAC 217, and we can see here that this is a for lack of a better term, paddle hand brush. So this has natural goat hair. It is a brass, nickel plated brass ferrule, and then you've got your logo, and down towards the bottom portion is the embossing of Japan. Okay, so there's several brushes that have been considered dupes for the MAC 217. The one that I see the most often is the Morpheme M433, and we can see that it's a bit longer towards the end. Also, the undertone of the finish on the ferrule is different than the MAC, so this suggests that this is probably an aluminum ferrule. It's not a nickel plated brass ferrule. And then the goat hair on the Morpheme, I don't know if I can zoom in on this, but it would suggest that it is of scratchier or lower quality of goat hair. It's never really said whether the MAC 217 what type of hair it is, and when grading goat hair it's just kind of subjective really, but we do know that Psycho is from the chest hair, and it's softer, more delicate hair than that of the Sokoho. And it's really hard to find, and it's really rare. So I don't think that this is Psycho hair, but I do believe that it is still from the chest hair, so it could be the Sokoho hair. And so this is chest hair, but maybe some of the pile on it is just a bit inconsistent as far as that goes. And you can see we do have a few stragglers here. I also have another MAC 217 that I've acquired over the years. This one's having a bad hair day. I guess I didn't realize it when I washed the brush that it would be kind of fluffing out. But you can see that both of them have that kind of tapered and then they pinch off at the side. So while the Morphe 433 is a contender, I wouldn't put it as a dupe for the MAC 217. There's just too many qualities that would put it out of the ballpark. The next brush that I have seen in the running for the MAC 217 is the the Zoeva Luxe Soft Definer, the Zoeva 227 brush. It mimics that paddle hand brush. However, Zoeva's brushes are made from both synthetic and natural bristle fibers. So they do have goat hair, but they also have synthetic fibers. So while you probably achieve the same results as the MAC, I wouldn't place this as a dupe for the MAC 217 just for the simple fact that it does contain a blend of synthetic and natural, so it just by default will behave a little bit differently. Again, we see the difference in the ferrules here, and for that matter, the handle on this one is matte, and then this one is slick, which doesn't really contend too much in the brush world. However, I do see that the lengths of the brushes, and also for that matter, the girth of the brushes, relatively simple is relatively similar. So it's a great contender. I would say you probably do achieve somewhat the same looks, but I don't consider it a dupe for the MAC 217 because I like to compare apples to apples, and therefore I like to compare natural bristle brush to natural bristle brush. So that one does not take the cake. Okay. Most of the brushes that I've been mentioning are going to be in your mid-range, so they're going to be anywhere from about $12 up to $24, $25. I think I paid around $25 for each of these brushes. And I do have a dupe, a suggested dupe for this brush that kind of ventures off into the Fude brushes where it's handcrafted and made with specialized goat hair. So this is a Smith 247, and we kind of see it's actually a little bit smaller, but again has that crimped ferrule up here. It is double crimped right there along with the MAC, but we see that this is a sharpened ebony wood, I believe, and it's believed to have an antimicrobial coating added to it so that it resists bacterial buildup over time. The bristles are a little bit more sparse. It's not as dense. I do believe that the quality of goat hair, however, does rival this brush, but we can see right here that it doesn't quite contend the same way as far as how this shapes out to be. But I think in the end you would achieve similar results. But again, I wouldn't place this as a dupe for the MAC 217. So my final mention before my actual dupe is going to be one of the brushes that I have found to be most popular among the dupes for the MAC 217, and it is the Sigma E25 blending brush. And we can see right here, first of all, this is a synthetic Taclon fiber for the bristles. So again, we're comparing apples to oranges if you really want to get technical about things. A lot of makeup artists would agree, I think, that the brush bristles of a natural hair brush don't behave the same way as synthetic. And although synthetics like Taclon can mimic it, so there's just something about the natural bristle fibers that tend to, they just tend to blend and work better. Again, we see the undertone of blue here rivaling the undertone of this nickel-plated brass ferrule. And so this would indicate to me that this is some sort of aluminum alloy for the ferrule. Again, not terrible, not the worst, but it's probably not as good as the nickel-plated brass. If we go to the brush handle, we can see that the Sigma's a little bit longer in length than the MAC 217, and also if we look at the caliper, the girth of the handle, it's a little bit smaller in regards to that. They do boast a triple crimp ferrule for the Sigma, so that is a great indicator. But over the years, I found my paint to chip on my Sigmas pretty frequently. So, and also these hold shape really well. They almost always will never bend. They just return back to their original starting point, so they don't flower out, and that'd be another indicator to me that you're not really getting the full experience of the MAC brush. The brush that I really feel like just truly rivals the MAC 217. And also, I just do want to preface this by saying the MAC brush line is no longer producing natural bristle brushes. So if you want to find brushes similar to these, you would either A, have to consider their synthetic line, or B, have to buy it secondhand. You're not going to actually find these in retail stores anymore. But so that quickly eliminates any other brands that might make synthetic Taklon fiber brushes or a mixture of synthetic and natural bristle brushes. So this brings me to my last and final brush, and I really feel that this dupes the MAC 217 like wholeheartedly, and that is the unique fluffy crease brush. So we look here and we see that the bristles do really come pretty close as far as, well, this one was dirty, so I did have to wash it, but besides that, they do have the same pile of hair and same level of softness and density in the hair. So if I turn it here on its side, you can see that it kind of flowers out. It gives that beautiful kind of tulip shape in the brush. And then also it gives that beautiful tip right over there. Now I will say the unique brand brushes do double crimp their ferrules like the MAC, although not as heavily crimped. They are still crimped, but I do notice that the undertone of the metal alloy differs from the metal alloy in the MAC, so it's probably not a nickel plated brass, but it doesn't look as light or as it doesn't look like it would be aluminum, so it might be some other mixture of metals. If you want to encapsulate your brand's logos on your brushes and they have paint, then I would suggest getting a clear base coat lacquer. You can either do matte or shiny. Shiny will give you this result, and matte will yield you this result, while the shiny is much more, it just kind of hides in the background a little bit more. But there you have it. The dupe for the MAC 217 brush. All right, and there you guys have it. Those are the dupes that I have found for the MAC 217 brush. And the ultimate dupe was the unique fluffy crease brush. Guys, was it the brush that you were expecting it to be? Leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. Do you feel that it rivals the MAC 217? Is there another brush out there that you'd like to see that rivals the MAC 217? Let me know. All right, guys, I am so thankful that you got here. And if you've gotten to this point, make sure that you subscribe and ring-a-ding-a-ding that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload. See you in my next video. Bye.